Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel Libra. This is your January 2021 soul story. So if you have a Libra sun rising or moon, it's a general read, but it might resonate for you, and you might like just to check back throughout the month and see how some of these insights and messages continue to unfold on your own pathway and make more relevance and resonance for you. So we're going to open up your reading with the beautiful air energy of the Knight of Swords, and I think there is something magical about moving into this time of Aquarius that is far more conducive to you being able to access parts of yourself that have been restricted, limited and held back for a very long time. What we're looking at as we move into January is an energy of continuous change of what we've already been experiencing, and I think there is an appreciation from you that every ache that you have has held a purpose. It's been a form of information that has taught you something about yourself, about your journey, about your experience of being at this very time on earth. And the Knight of Swords is coming in with this sense of valor and dedication and purpose to want to move you forward. I think the challenge for some of you through this month of January is the understanding that not everyone or everything is going to be a part of that growth with you, and that there's still perhaps some reflection around what it means to release. And just as I was getting ready to prepare for your reading, I happened upon a quote that felt really relevant for your sign in January, and it said, "If you're going to feel as deep as the ocean, it may help to breathe as deep as the sky," from Jaya John. And it really felt to me true, because there is so much that you have endured and experienced and gone through, through the last 12 months and beyond, Libra. And it's now really about the ways in which you are giving yourself the opportunity to process that and allow for this deep exhale, this art of release. It's okay to be able to feel as deeply as you have into some of the really profound things that have happened to you, but there's also a need for movement forward and progress now at this time. And so how do we allow that shift of energy to happen? We need to allow that deep exhale to exist. And the Knight of Swords for me is really coming in by way of a reminder of the urgency, I think, really for you to start to follow the things that are whispering and kind of really pulling and drawing you forward. And it's not to say that you don't take pieces of the past with you, for sure, but I definitely think there's an understanding that perhaps there are going to be some things that in January you come to the realization that you do need to put down or let go. The Ten of Wands for me is an expression of that energy. It's the people, it's the things that are in your life that are just too burdensome, they're too heavy, they're too dense, and they're not allowing you to seek this opportunity to really let your wings fly and be able to move forward. Now, there is something very almost comforting and protective about the way that this 10 comes across, but I need to say to you, be mindful that you're not allowing yourself to stay in a comfort zone just because it feels to be that. So there's something about January wanting to stretch and allow you to move and expand forward in perhaps the same direction or some new directions that might be opening up for you. But I certainly think that there's a sense of you feeling perhaps a little bit conflicted or a bit uncertain about the ways in which you need to extricate or to set down, or how you go about managing that process of allowing yourself to move forward while still perhaps having to coexist in an energy that feels more limited or restrictive. Understand that through this month of January, the information, news, messages is going to make its way to help you come to that understanding. But the only way that you find the answer for that is to truly be able to listen. And sometimes we don't always want to hear the things that are coming through from our higher self and our guides, because, perhaps it's the acknowledgement that we might have to make a difficult decision or let go of something that actually, it might not necessarily be really toxic or really bad for us. It could just be a very comfortable part of the way that we live. And yet there's a knowing that in this new vibrational energy moving forward, something does have to give, and you do need to allow yourself to grow in different areas. So the Four of Swords for me is a beautifully quiet, nice, still reflection that's going to beautifully balance and temper out a sense of urgency and desire to want to get moving. What it's going to do is it's going to make sure that you move in the right direction. And I think that's an important aspect to cover, because later in the month we have this really prominent astrological aspect where Jupiter squares Uranus. Now, Jupiter is this planet of expansion, of growth. It magnifies everything and it wants to deliver big, bountiful change. And then we have Uranus, which is coming in as the rebel, and it's seeking freedom to change things in an unorthodox way, to help to bring shock and sudden surprises. And so when they clash, there's this profound sense of pressure that's felt, this need for change, and it can happen and create this kind of ripple effect where people end up acting in very extreme ways, in a very extravagant kind of manner. And if we're not careful, we can end up blindly running off in a direction or making really impulsive decisions that are not necessarily for our highest good. So the way you balance this out is by really listening into that quiet whisper that's been sustaining you and kind of continuously trying to show you and validate things for you in your own emotional and spiritual soul journey. Now, change, arises from both an energetic and an emotional force, and it's really about the discernment that you are taking through this month of January to figure out what that means and how you interpret it for yourself. So it's time to be able to have a rest from the things that have really been weighing heavy on your mind or physically exhausting you through this month, Libra. And I think as soon as you get just even a short amount of time to be able to do that and recalibrate your energy, wonderful, great, inspiring things are going to happen as a result of that. And I think you can lead the way in a really beautiful sense. Now, there's also this note that comes up about things being appreciated from afar. So how that might translate for some of you is that you see something that you are inspired by or that you are drawn towards, perhaps a person, an experience, an idea, something that just really captures your spirit. There's a timing aspect to this, I feel. With the ace coming in here, there's the suggestion of something that absolutely is quite fertile and nutrient and richly opportunistic. But because I'm getting this vibe about appreciation from afar, it may mean that there's a little bit of a wait, or there's something else that needs to fall into place before we can actually harness that energy and meaningfully work with it. Now, when we're in Capricorn season, we've got that nice earthy elemental that helps us to bring tangible things into fruition, okay? And we also have Mars moving into Taurus on the 6th and Venus into Capricorn on the 8th. So a lot of the planets now working to help give us that sustained commitment to really realize important things in our life. And I love that the ace is coming up here to support and validate that for you. What you also might find is that there is a lot of appreciation coming toward you from afar. So there may be people focused in your direction, seeing what you have to offer, what you have to say. Perhaps there's interest in you romantically or wanting to connect with you in some more kind of professional way, or even from a friendship perspective. And I think that these will start to emerge. Seeds of new conversations, messages, invitations are going to start to come your way. There are aspects of what is playing out from an energy perspective this month, which means that doors could fly open in a really, really sudden way. And you want to make sure that you're able to seize and ready to move quite quickly in that aspect. And it might seem to you, based on what you're experiencing in your current situation right now, that seems kind of incredulous. But the way that the energy is flowing, there is a suggestion that actually it could come in a direction that you really didn't anticipate. Now, sometimes that can emerge, what it can bring about, what emerges from it is that fear, that anxiety, that sense of I'm not sure I'm ready for this, I'm not sure I can do this, or I'm not sure how to make this work. I've got this really powerful statement being given to me right now about you saying in relation to this Nine of Swords, I don't know how to make this work. So, if that comes by way of what you're already going through, or by way of a new door that opens and you wanting to take it, or feeling unsure if it's right for you, and having this narrative, this conversation with yourself, understand that as you are under the oppression energy of that Ten of Wands, this is so much at the root of what might be activating a lot of these fears. And the way around that, the way to be able to access and harness the rich, fertile new energy is by taking a step back, by conserving, by recentering and coming back home to yourself. Things are always going to be said by people. Everyone has an opinion, and it's really important that you find, the conversation that is coming from your soul at this moment in time. Now, there is also this aspect, because we are going to be approaching at the end of the month Mercury moving retrograde. So even though on the 14th Uranus goes direct, which gives us the opportunity for kind of clear open skies, all the stars moving forward, which is a definite green light, but when we come into that shadow period with Mercury retrograde, there can be a returning element, that boomerang effect of things coming back. Now, it might be something you thought you dealt with, or you thought, you'd overcome or moved past, that just wants to come back around and kind of give you the opportunity to actually demonstrate the growth or what you've understood. And you've got to be really careful that you don't get kind of caught up in somebody else's mess, somebody else's drama, somebody else's web of, whatever they think they are saying, and they're trying to be true to themselves, but in actual fact it has no bearing, no influence, and won't serve you or your highest good. Of course, the Knight of Swords can also suggest returning energies from the past, so some of you may well be dealing with that, but certainly the indicator is, does it feel light? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel like something's changed, or I have something new to say, or this person or this connection or this energy has something different to show me or to teach me? If the answer is no, then you have your answer, right? If the answer is yes, then again, I would still urge you take a little bit of a moment to pause and reflect and remember that quote. If you're going to feel everything as deeply as that ocean, you're going to have to find a way to breathe just as deeply so that you can exhale and not hold on to it all. So we have the energy of the world, which is bringing in this beautiful opportunity for you to demonstrate this new understanding of the art of release, because something is coming to a point of fruition and change. We've got all these beautiful butterflies here emerging from the chrysalis, coming into this time of metamorphosis. And, so much of this is about you wrapping up and clearing out things that perhaps have been around you by way of fear and anxiety and stress for an awful long time, The thing with this Nine of Swords is we have a beautiful window here, and the window is giving us access to see this gorgeous night sky where all the stars are super clear, and even the world is surrounded by this clear galaxy. And as we come into this time where so many of the galactic energies are, flowing towards us, we've had this upgrade in energy. It's about understanding the ways in which you think and feel differently now and how you choose to respond. We know, moving into this year, that not everything is fixed. We know that we have a lot more challenges and mountains to scale, but yet there's this understanding of what's in front of us in a way that perhaps we didn't have through 2020. So, you're being given that understanding, and it is that knowing that each and every one of the aches that you've had has had purpose and taught you something, and you have changed as a result of it. So you don't need to come at the same challenge from the same place anymore. You can look at it and look it right in the eye and say, yes, okay, I understand that you are something I have to deal with right now. And yet your level of confidence, of bravery, of the resiliency that you've been able to demonstrate is going to absolutely afford you the chance to have a different emotional response. And that's really important by way of how you deal with people and how you deal with some of the things that are going to be coming towards you. Now, the world does bring in a beautiful burst of positive energy to help move through the energy of this nine, okay? So for me, it's kind of acting as a much more powerful guide for you. So how do you access it? How do you harness it? It's about looking beyond this. It's about seeking, the clear vision of what's coming, which is a clear open sky and an indication of those stars that are going to illuminate the way forward for you. So much of this doesn't actually get realized, and you have the butterfly here guiding you, and here she is expressed out and multiplying. So the one good thing that you can hold on to, even if you find yourself in a place that feels very difficult or stressful or challenging through this month at some point, Libra, is actually going to multiply itself by the time we come to that end of the month. and moving forward, okay? So Uranus moving direct on the 14th. Remember, when these major planets take a change and they station forward or retrograde, they can be quite disruptive and they can unsettle us. And Uranus, by its very nature, is a very sort of shocking, upheaval kind of an energy, but it wants to bring in change for the better. It wants to bring in the opportunity for something to move and move quickly. And so even though it might feel quite stressful, actually, as we continue the journey here, what we've got is something that we can actually celebrate and come together to respond to in a more meaningful way, okay? What I also like is I feel like you're being held up here. You know, we've got the three figures that are holding the cups, but I feel like they're supporting you from the ground up, believing in you, believing in your idea, believing in your energy, believing in, you know, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to get out or away from or overcome. So whatever you're grappling with, I feel like there is an amazing support system that is by your side. Now, if you do not feel that in the physical, Libra, understand that this will represent those in spirit who are absolutely around you and wanting to help come through and bring about this change and this opportunity for you to seed something in this really rich, beautiful, fertile soil. I think there's also this desire to want to see you fly, to want to see you kind of really following your true purpose and being able to kind of create space enough for yourself so that you can realize that. Like I said, as we come into a time when, you know, we're moving out of a lot of the harsher aspects that were impacting the cardinal signs and into the more fixed energy, it not only gives you the drive and the wherewithal to make something happen, but you also have a little bit less of the pressure, so you don't feel like you've got that kind of monkey on your back the whole time. Now, the energy of the moon wants to unlock something, but again, you know, it's beneath the Nine of Swords here, so there's a strong kind of current of fear and anxiety that is being perpetuated. What you need to remember is this might not be yours. This might be absolutely by way of a suppressive energy that's unfolding around you by a specific person or something out with that, you know, within the external or in a collective energy. And it's your job to tap into by way of stepping back and protecting yourself from that type of absorption of energy and unlocking what the truth is within who you are. And you've got your beautiful little owl here, this wise owl coming through and giving you that information, feeding it to you in a steady stream so that you do understand that there is constantly a way out and a way through this, okay? This moon is so beautiful, vibrant. Now, we've got a big, powerful full moon in Leo taking place on the 28th of the month, which is lighting up that 11th house for you, Libra. So we are looking at the way that you use communication systems, technology. Now, remembering Mercury's retrograde, but there's some kind of change or shift that's happening there. There might be a move that happens or something that gets revealed or you wanting to express something by way of those communication channels, but it's also about community, it's about friendships, and it's also the house of your hopes and dreams. So in a full moon, beautiful, fiery, passionate, brave-hearted Leo energy, there's something about you having the bravery to overcome some of the things that are holding you back and limiting you and allowing you to get free of it, so that you can actually allow this beautiful magical air element to fly, you know. This is a time where you don't want to let the chaos be your ruler, okay? You don't want to let the chaos be your ruler. You have an opportunity to experience something very different through the month of January, and I think you're getting a much stronger feeling about the direction with which you want to move and when you want to make that happen. Even if that's just an initial plan that you're setting out this month, that's all it takes. It's just that firm, decisive intention on your part to say, I choose better, I choose different, I choose to be the best of myself, and I'm laying that out in terms of where I'm heading over the course of the next 12 months. And this suggestion of the world, which of course is ruled by Saturn, gives us the energy and that weightiness to say, this is what we're going to bring into being, this is what we're going to manifest. What we don't want to do is be manifesting the fears. We absolutely want to be manifesting the opportunities. Your Hermit coming in, and there's a beautiful little nod to this owl that I just mentioned again. is illuminating the fears, the things that are deceiving or tricking us into feeling less than or bound by or restricted, and showing us really the rite of passage that we've already been on, the soul journey that's uniquely ours, and what it is that we need to work on in order to take ourselves to the next level and lock that level in. And I see extraordinary wisdom coming by way of this hermit to support you, representing that energy of Virgo. And so again, grounding something into being. And if you have energies that are around you that feel a little bit more uncomfortable to you, or you're not sure about them, then I know that you're going to be given the support and the insight to understand where you can place your trust and where you need to be moving in order to find that sense of expansion, positivity, and bountiful success that wants to make its way to you, The thing with the hermit is it sometimes is about this time that we need sacredly to really let something properly land for us. We understood a lot in terms of the personal journey that we went through in 2020, but how do you want to actually start to make meaningful progress as a result of that? What is your new route to happiness because of what you've now realised? This is what's going to be emerging through this month of January, and I think you're going to make extraordinary shifts within your own mindset and your own attitude about what you would like to do and how you would like to do it, and really being able to identify that where you have the pain points and the wounds that form a part of who you are and the journey that you've walked on, they are more than ever kind of culminating and by way of their own unique story, delivering a purpose and giving you the wisdom that you can learn by to be able to take forward with you. So from a abundance, a financial and material perspective, I think you may, if you have experienced or are experiencing some stresses and uncertainties, also have the opportunity to get an incredible breakthrough by way of an interesting conversation, perhaps through a network or female energies around you that are very supportive or opening doors around you. I also think that there could be something returning from the past that you need to revisit, maybe make a shift or a change. Maybe you need to lighten your load in order to kind of streamline, to realize something and make it move faster is what they're telling me as well. By way of relationships, I think what we're looking at here is the opportunity for you to really get a handle on what is working for you and understanding who you want to take with you moving forward and who needs to be a part of the story that you're now creating for yourself in 2021. I think you're sowing seeds and you're going to put some really strong foundations in place, but there's no room for the fear there. There's no room for the stress and the anxiety. If somebody makes you feel this way, this is your time to really acknowledge, I can't continue in this kind of a vein. It has to be a month where I really look more deeply into the art of release and what that means to me, But again, I think the suggestion of this Nine of Swords being beautifully supported by the world means that a lot of these are going to dissipate and dissolve as you come into a more rooted, secure place with understanding things about yourself that you've already known to be true but are going to be validated by way of I just think I've got some good news or something successful that's going to come in and perhaps just when you need it to kind of help demonstrate to you that a lot of your worries are unfounded. So we have man holding a heart here, and I think that there is this level of you needing to be more compassionate to yourself and to the situation that you have been through and perhaps where you find yourself right now. It's through kindness, compassion, and really being loving towards yourself that you're going to start to let a lot of the resistance fall away and get to the truth of where you can find support, inspiration, and strength. I think for some of you, if romance and relationships are really significant through this month of January, it may well be that you're coming to powerful understanding about what it is that you need, and those lines of communication are opening up. And even with retrograde, there might be the chance to revisit something that was said or done that perhaps you now need to go back over and perhaps smooth or, you know, heal in some way. But it is, for me, giving us the indication that we have beautiful lines of divine love that are flowing into your pathway in January, that you can harness and use in any way that you need to. So it might not be for all of you on a romantic level, but certainly it's showing up. It's showing up to help link you into that heart space. And really, as we move into Aquarius season, it's just lighting up that 5th house energy, isn't it? It's lighting out, you know, that's the romance, creativity, your relationship to the things that make you feel passionate and bring desire into your world. And so there's going to be an important reflection on how you get the right balance in your life in and around these areas, you know. So we have the energy of going forward. I love the beautiful vibrancy and all the green, which is really linking into that heart space for me as well. But, you know, you're already on this journey. You clearly know where you're going. And I think this is very indicative of that Knight of Swords that came through as well, right at the start of the reading. I feel this is you. It's like, you know, through this month of the first part of 2021, something is going to shift in you and you're going to go, this is where I need to be. This is where I want to be. Now that might not, you know, reflect or translate in a change of kind of physical environment or a job. It could be in a relationship. It could be something in yourself. You know, you need to take these insights and messages and apply them to what is going on within your world right now. But what we have is the sun shining and guiding the way. And we have a very clear path marked out. So this is not something where you're stumbling around in the darkness trying to get to grips with things. Even the hermit is shining a light. It's giving you the information. So spirit, like I said, and people, this support system holding you up, making sure that you don't miss the opportunity to move towards and tap into the potential of who you are and start to realize some of the things that are here for you. What we need to do is release the energy of this, you know, whoever it represents, and this is going to automatically dissolve and dissipate every single one of these swords. So this is a general reading, Libra. I hope you have enjoyed listening. If you'd like to join me for the extended, I'm going to go ahead and pull us some additional cards right now. So think about a question that might not have been answered in the main read, and we'll just go ahead and pull a couple of cards. You can find the link for that in the description box underneath the reading. Okay, so let's just clarify this Knight of Swords first of all. Coming in with the Page of Cups here. The Eight of Cups. There is a journey in quality, a letting go and a release that's very strong in your reading for January, Libra. And I think it's because you are really clear about what it is that's going to make you happy, or understanding some of the changes that you want to bring in to support that. Three of Pentacles coming in with that Ten of Wands. Five of Swords. There's just a very weighty, oppressive feeling that I'm getting in that part of your reading, and perhaps this King of Pentacles is reflective of that, or who, you know. Beautiful new plans that you're making for yourself, though. Just feel like something's forming. This 10 again. Don't let this be the thing that stops you. Beginnings and endings. Okay, we've got a water sign coming in here. King of Cups, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancerian. Perhaps for some of you this is some of the root cause of some of that stress and anxiety. Ace of Cups. We'll go into this in a little bit more detail in the extended. Again, sort of partnership, collaboration coming through with that Three of Cups as well. So if you haven't seen this showing up for you yet, and you are going through a real upheaval or sudden changes coming in, endings happening, then there is support that's going to come through for you. You're getting a lot of cards repeated in this reading, so the message is coming through nice and strong for you. Okay, Libra, I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like to join me, I look forward to continuing this conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you beautiful blessings for this month of January. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.